This conference will now be
What does
recorded.
it mean? Right. So what does it mean by flow control, guys? What do you know about flow controls? Can you ping me in the chat box? What do you know about the flow controls? Flow controls. What do you know about flow control? Anyone has any like some idea? Anybody? Flow control. What is flow control? So no idea. To assign continue value? No. Any idea about flow control? Anybody else? You can ping me in the chat box. No idea. Okay. So yeah, looping, that is one of the flow controls. But yeah, what is flow control? Notation of looping statements, if and else statements. Yeah, you are saying like what are the flow control statements that we have. That's the answer what you are giving. But the question is like, what is flow control? How do you define a flow control? Workflow of the task to be executed. Excellent. Okay. Checking the conditions are true or not. Yeah, somehow you are trying to answer that in the order in which the program code is going to get execute. Input process, output process. Okay. So yeah, some of you guys, yeah, aware of this, but looks like most of the people are new to this. Okay, flow control. What the name is saying, the name itself saying, right? Flow control. We are going to control the flow somehow, like here we are writing the program. Actually we are writing the program statements, so that Python interpreter is going to control the execution. It will take the control. In general, Python interpreter executes the statements one by one. Okay, say for suppose you have the statements. So statement in the sense code. Okay, code of line. Okay, I'll say code line number 1, code line number 2. Like that I can have n number of lines of code. Correct? Correct. So I can have n number of lines of code like this. So I may have 10 lines of code, or I may have 100 lines of code. Okay, line number 100. It's all depends. Okay, it's all depends. So when I have a group of statements, in the sense group of lines of codes, set of lines of code. When I have set of lines of code, then how Python interpreter executes these lines of code, guys. These are going to execute line by line, line by line. So this line, this line, this, like that, line one by one, it is going to execute from top to bottom. So in general, okay, in general, the execution flow is from top to bottom. Correct? So it comes from top to bottom. The execution flow is from top to bottom. That is general behavior. You take any programming language, C, C++, Java, .NET, PHP. You take any programming language, guys. In general, the execution flow is from top to bottom. So meaning that it will start the execution from line number 1, then it executes line number 2, then it executes line number 3, and it goes till the bottom. So where I have line number 100, so here all the lines of code is executed and it comes out of the program. So mute yourself, guys. All of you guys mute, please. Okay, so when we have multiple statements to execute, okay, multiple statements to execute, so somehow we are diverting the route. Somehow we are we are trying to control the flow, execution flow. We are going to control the execution flow. Okay, just we are diverting. We are just going to divert the Python interpreter to execute the lines of code from top to bottom. Okay, how are we diverting? Okay, it's a diversion process is something like that. So when you are following one route, okay, don't go with this route straightforward way. Okay, so you go just inside and you do something and come back. Or so I do not want to execute few lines of code. Please keep this lines execution. So based on the user input for my program, maybe based on that I can execute few lines of code, or I may not execute few lines of code. Say for example, I wanted to execute line number 1, line number 2, but I don't want to execute this line number 3 always. So this line number 3, okay, line number 3, I wanted to execute this conditionally. So boss, don't execute this line number 3 always. Okay, so don't execute this always. I'm going to control this line execution now. I'm planning to control the execution of this particular line number 3. How I'm going to control it? So that is where we have some other things that we have to learn. How to control this, how to control the execution of this line number 3. So sometimes I wanted to execute, some other times I do not want to execute. Okay, so that all depends on the input values, the user input values may or may not execute, right? Say for example, I have, okay, I wanted to print or I wanted to say hello. Okay, so this is going to print hello, right? We know that, we all know that. Now I have asked you to write the program. I asked you to write the program to print hello for 10 times. Okay, or hello, I wanted to print hello for 10 times. Then what you do? So I'm going to write this for 10 times, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right? I have printed this for 10 times. Meaning that how many lines of code I have written? 10 lines of code I have written. 10 lines of code I have written to print hello for 10 times. Right? Say there is a different requirement where I wanted to execute hello, or I wanted to print hello for 100 times. For 100 times. Then what you do? Okay, so these are 10 lines of code for 10 times, right? So here one time, then one more time, then one more time, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So total 100 lines of code. Okay, so 100 lines of code. Getting, guys, are you getting? So I have written 100 lines of code for what? Just to write the logic, okay, of printing hello for 100 times. To print 100 times, so you are writing 100 lines of code. And if you look at all the code, is repetition or not? It's a duplicate code or not? So what I'm having in line number 1, print hello. What I have in line number 2, print hello. What I have in line number 5, print hello. So you take 100 lines, all the 100 lines are same or not? Right? So why do I need to write these 100 lines of code for printing a simple hello for 100 times? This is a duplicate code. So instead of writing this line, same line 100 times, I would like to say to the interpreter, execute this single line for 100 times. I'm going to inform to the interpreter, okay, execute the line for 100 times. I'm going to write a single line, and I wanted to say execute the same line for 100 times. What is the advantage of this? So we will be sure that okay, this will print for 100 times, and we don't have to worry about how many lines I have added here, 1 2 3 4, like that. I have to count it or not, whether it is reached 100 or not. Okay, so the first point is code duplicate. Okay, code duplicate, the same thing we are going to write again and again, and then so if it is huge number of repetitions, it has huge number of repetitions, nothing but, so you wanted to print hello for 1,000 times or 10,000 times. Okay, I wanted to print hello 1 lakh times or 10 lakhs times or 1 crore times, right? You understand? Then so how complex it is to writing the same line those many times, guys? So such a big program, is that the recommendable way? That's absolutely wrong. That's absolutely wrong. So for example, I wanted to, so I have, how many students I have? Okay, so I have 60 students here. Say for example, I wanted to see all the, I wanted to see all these 60 students. Okay, the same logic I am going to apply on every student. What is the logic that I'm going to apply? Okay, so I just wanted to go through each and every student. I wanted to print the first name and last name of the student. What is the logic here? Print logic. What I am printing? Student first name and last name I am going to print. The logic is same for every student or not? How many students I have? 60 students. So am I going to write 60 lines of code to print the first name, last name? So in here 60 students. Tomorrow I'll get 600 students. Then am I going to increase? Am I going to back and update my code to 600 lines of code? I have 6,000 students. Then so that is the problem, that is the biggest challenge. So that is where we found some alternative way. Okay, to alternative way. So instead of writing the same code for those many times, so we are going to inform to the Python interpreter, asking boss, you execute this logic for these many times, you execute this logic these many times. So then what will happen? So this line will be executed and it will go back, and again it verifies like okay, so I'll take the count. So 100 times I have to print it, 100 times I have to print it. I will start from 1, I will start from 1, I will print this one time. Okay, print one time, then I'll take second time, I'll go for second time, and I'll again execute the same line, and I'll every time I'm going to check this count basically. So second time I'm doing, third time I'm doing, fourth time I'm doing, like that. How many times I have to do it, guys? I have to do it for 100 times. Okay, till I reach 100, my counter is reached 100. So I'm going to execute the same line. So that is what, every time I will print, I will see the count, I will print, I will see the count. So till I reach the 100, so that is what I'm going to execute, meaning that Python interpreter is going to execute the same line again and again, something like this. So in general, the flow control execution is what, it is from top to bottom, one by one, line by line. That is the regular order, that is the regular order. But what I'm doing here, after printing this line, again I'm going back and I'm again executing the same line, going back, executing the same line, executing the same line, same logic. The logic can be one line or 10 lines. The same thing is going to keep executing, going here and there, right? That is a repetition line. So what we are doing is we are breaking this flow, this normal control, and we are giving we are taking over the control and controlling the Python interpreter to execute the same line again and again. That's what we are controlling the flow. Okay, we are controlling the flow. So flow controls are the control statements. Flow controls are they are also like Python statements, right? Python code, they are also Python code. So they are also control statements where they control the execution flow, or where the control statements helps to control the execution flow. In general, the execution flow is from top to bottom, right? In general, the execution flow is from top to bottom, but the flow controls are going to control the execution flow. Okay, in general, execution flow is from top to bottom. So flow control statements are the statements are the code. Basically statement, when I say statement, that is also a code, line of code. Okay, so in general execution flow is from top to bottom. Flow control statements are the statements or lines of code controls the regular execution flow. Execution flow in terms of uh, skipping few lines of code execution, skipping few lines of code execution, depending on the conditions, or it may execute the same logic again and again for multiple times. Okay, guys, are you following? So it's going, these are also like code. Basically these are also statements, these are also code. So this code helps us to control the logic, to control the code, basically in terms of executing the same line again and again, or same logic again and again. Okay, or to skip a few lines of execution of code, or single line of code execution, depending on the conditions. For some user it might be like executing, for others, for other reason it may not execute. Okay, that's what flow control statements are. The statements, the control, that they are useful to control the flow. Okay, in simple terminology, what you can say is to control the flow of execution. That's it. Flow control statements are the statements to control the flow, execution flow. That's it, right? So flow control statements are they're also code, Python coding statements only. How they help us, so the statements, flow control statements help us. Okay, statements helps to control the execution flow. Guys, are you following? Is it clear so far? Okay, any questions around this? Hoping everybody is following. Okay, no issues also. Then what are the different flow control statements we have? Then first you understand what is flow control. Okay, then so what are the different flow control statements that we have? Different flow control statements we have, maybe interview point of view. Okay, so what are the different flow control statements we have in Python? Okay, so totally, so all the flow control statements are categorized into 3 types. Yes. Okay, so 3 types. Okay, so we have 3 categories. We have 3 categories of flow control statements. What are the 3 categories? So the first one is okay, conditional statements. We will say that conditional statements. Okay, depends on the condition. Okay, we have conditional statements. So what are the conditional statements we have is if, else. Okay, else if, or you can say elif. Okay, else. Okay, if, elif, else. So these are the conditional statements. Conditionally it is going to allow either to execute that or not. Execute one line of code or maybe block of or few lines of code as a block. So then we have iterative statements. So these iterative statements helps to execute the same logic again and again. Execute the same logic again and again. So that's where the iterative statements help. Okay, and we have while loop and for loop. So these are also called iterative statements or looping statements. We also call it as looping statements. We also call looping statements, iterative or looping statements. Then we have okay, then we have what else we have? We have transfer statements. Yes, we have something called transfer statements. So transfer statements responsibility is, they are going to transfer the control from one place to another. That's it. Okay. So here, as part of that, we have something called a break or continue or pass. Okay, break, continue, pass. Okay, so when a loop is like keep repeating, right, iterative process, meaning that same logic is executing again and again and again. How long it is going to execute? Say for it is executing for 100 times, but I wanted to break that chain. I wanted to break that iteration process when I reach up to maybe 50th line, 50 times basically. After 50 times it is executing. For some reason I wanted to skip that. I wanted to break it. So let's not go for further rounds. That's where you can use break. The similar way continue also will use. Yeah, I will explain about each and every statement here. We don't have switch statement in Python, Satya. We don't have switch statement in Python. Okay, so there is no point of supporting that switch here in Python. Not required actually. Okay, now so let's begin with conditional statements. Okay, we have conditional statements if else, right? Okay, we'll understand about these with respect to by using certain programs. Okay, say for example, I wanted to write a program to find the given number is a even number or not. The very basic program, very basic program. Write a program to find the given number is a even number or not. How do you know that whether the given number is even number or not? So if you want to write the logic, first you should understand the logic. You should understand the problem, right? Then you can analyze it. You can analyze it. You can look for the solution. Then you start writing the program. Okay, don't write the program straight away when you have a problem to solve. Okay, right. So what is the problem here? Write a program to find the given number is even number or not. So first they are saying that okay, given number. Okay, so I'll give the number from the keyboard. Okay, then how to read the number from the keyboard, that we know already, right? So we know how to read the data from keyboard, right? How to read the data from keyboard using a function called input function. So input function, input of, so here I will ask user to enter the number. Okay, as I'm going to calculate or I'm going to apply some logic around the number, okay, that has to extract as a number. By default the input function returns that as what? String, right? So I have to extract that as integer. I have to extract that as integer. Okay, so I got my number. Then what I have to do? The number is even number or not, that I have to verify. So now you should understand the general mathematical logic. Okay, how do you say a number is even number or not? How do you say the number is even number or not? So I have a number 4. I have a number 4. So is it even number or odd number? It's an even number. So because it is a multiple of 2, right? So if it is multiple of 2, then you can say that is even number. If not, you can say that is odd number. But anyhow, so here to verify if the number is multiple of 2 or not, what we are going to do is we are going to divide the given number with 2. 2 2s are 4. 2 2s are 4. The remainder value is what? 0. Let me take some number, maybe 7. Okay, so now I'll say 2 3s are 6. 2 3s are 6, and what is the remainder value? 1. So 7 is multiple of 2. Is that correct? 7 is multiple of 2, meaning that if you read out like 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4, 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6, 2 4s are 8. So 7 is not multiple of 2. So meaning that, so if the remainder is 1, then definitely that is not the multiple of 2. If the remainder is 1, then I'll say that is not a multiple of 2. So I can say that is not a even number. That is not a even number. 1 second, guys, please. So yeah, so we understand this, right? So this is how it is going to work. Now what we need to know is, now programmatically, now we should know the way to get the remainder, how to find out the remainder. So here if you look at this is fixed, right? So any number, the 4 7 is the given numbers, 4 and 7 are the given numbers. So whatever the given number, that may vary from one input to another input, meaning that from one execution to another execution. Okay, for the first time I may give 4, for the second time I may give 7, for the third time I may give 70, whatever it is. Now here if you look at this, 2 will not change because we are going to check multiple of 2, so this will be same. Now so what is the logic? We have to think, what is the logic that to be applied on the given number to get the remainder value, because we are going to look over the remainder value, whether the remainder is 0 or 1. So here we have to do something, and we have to compare that value with 0 or 1. So here we have to write the logic to get the remainder value. So to know that, you should understand about the operators. You should understand about the operators. What operator I can apply here to get the remainder value? So basic arithmetic operators, if you look at, okay, day before yesterday we discussed arithmetic operators that gives the remainder value. What is that? We have modulo operator, right? If I apply this modulo operator onto this expression will give either 0 or 1. This expression is nothing but evaluate and gives the remainder value, and that remainder value will be either 0 or 1 always, because we are doing with 2. Okay, so that is what, if this value x mod 2 remainder value comes either 0 or 1. Now I am comparing both this expression, I am comparing with what? 0, whether the result of this is 0 or not. Okay, so for example, this is just I am keeping in the bracket. Now x mod 2 is my expression. This value I am comparing with 0. So what is this double equals? This is also an operator, right? Comparison operator. So I'm comparing this left side value and the right side value. If both are same, meaning that 0. So 0 case in the sense what? That is a multiple of 2, right? That is a multiple of 2. So when I say multiple of 2, yes, I can say that is even number. That is even number. So meaning that if this condition is satisfied, then only I wanted to say. Otherwise, I don't want, right? I will say here, okay, given number is even number. Given number is even number. But when, so this statement I'm going to execute conditionally, correct or not? When I will execute this, when this is true, meaning that when this is going to be same. If both are same, then only I will print it, otherwise I don't print. So that is where I need the conditional statement. That is where I need the conditional statement. That is where here I am going to put the whole expression inside if. So I'm saying that, okay boss, if this is going to be true, if the remainder is 0, then only you come and print it. So that is what, to separate this, so we have a separation called colon, and inside that, so we have to maintain one tab space. We have to maintain one tab space, meaning that this line, or I may write another line, maybe 2 lines I can write, or maybe I can write 20 lines when the condition is satisfied. Okay, number is, what is the number x? Okay, so given number is even number, and the number is what? The given number, whatever you enter. So 2 lines of code. So to now, as I have mentioned this tab space here and here, these 2 lines belongs to this if condition. These 2 lines belongs to this if condition. So this is what we call it as a body. Okay, we call it as a body, right? So getting it. So we call it as a body of this particular if condition. This is a body. This is the body. So this body can be having 2 lines of code, or 20 lines of code, or 200 lines of code. Doesn't matter. Depends on the logic. Depends on the logic. Depends on the logic. Okay. Now, so I need to separate this if condition with the body. What is the separation? Is this colon. This colon is the separation. This colon is the separation. Okay, now if I write one statement, one more statement here, if I write one more statement here, print done. Now, is this statement is going to execute always, or only if it is even number? When this line is going to execute, guys? This line is going to execute always. This executes always, because okay, it is not as part of the if body, because this is not part of the if body. To make this line is also as part of the if body, what I have to do? I have to give one tab space. Now this is also belongs to if body, meaning that if it is even number, that's what remainder is 0, then all these 3 lines will execute. Otherwise these 3 lines are not going to execute. So conditionally we execute these 3 lines, or we may not execute these 3 lines of code. Okay, now guys, so if you look at what is the syntax of the if condition statement, guys, if you look at the syntax, okay, if, so here condition will have a condition. Okay, the condition should be always an expression that evaluates to true or false. Okay, so here if body, understand guys, condition could be either true or false, or any other expression, okay, or any other expression evaluates to true or false. Okay, guys, are you following and understanding? Any doubts? I'm explaining by keeping them in mind, who are completely new to the programming. So for them, like who knows already and comfortable, so please be patient. Okay, maintain some patience. Okay, indentation, the space, whatever space we have given, right, that we call indentation, not indentation, it's indentation. Okay, I'll tell you about that. Okay, so here this is what if, and inside this condition, okay, and then body. So condition could be either true or false directly, or any other expression that evaluates true or false. Okay, so now so what I do is, yeah, let me write one more note also. Okay, note 2 is the body, if body can be one line of code or any number of lines of code, can be 100 lines of code also. Okay, all statements or lines of code, okay, lines of code must be maintain the indentation. Okay, that is the point, guys. Yeah, are you clear about that? Hopefully no doubts, no questions about this conditional statements. Okay, now we just written a sample program here. Let us understand about this. Let me take this to here. Save this notes. I will send this notes, guys. Flow controls. Okay. Now let me create a new file here. New file, Python file, and I'll say, okay, so finding even number or odd number. Okay, that's my program name. This is what the logic I have seen. Okay. Now, so otherwise, okay, here what I say, this is going to say if it is even number, then it will execute. But if I give odd number, then it doesn't say anything, right? Meaning that the end user doesn't know like the given number is even number or not. So if, for example, I have entered 10, it will say number is even number is 10 and done. Okay. But if I give odd number, guys, say 11 I have given. As soon as I enter 11, the program is done, but I don't see like the program did not say anything, right? Whether it is the even number or odd number, it has to say something, right? So that is where, okay, when you have only two options, either option A or option B, then you do not have to verify the condition again. Simply you can say else. Simply you can say else statement, meaning that if the number is not the even number, then automatically that will be what? Odd number. So you can just have the else statement here, and you can say the number is odd number, and you can say the number is odd number. Okay, this is how like we can use if and else statement, if with else statement. Okay, you understand about this if with else statement. Now give the 11, it will say, now it will say the number is odd number. Oh, user will understand, okay, whatever the number entered is odd number. Okay, so what is the advantage of writing the program? So you give any number, any big number, it takes the same time to tell that whether it is odd number or me guys now. Yeah, so connection is okay, it's re-established. Hope you can hear me now. Ping me in the chat box, please. Can you confirm? Can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Right. So what I was saying, right? You give any big number, but it takes the same amount of time to tell that whether it is even number or odd number. That's what the advantage of the program. Okay. So, but if you want to calculate manually, that takes a lot of time. So that's why like the programming software are all in. Okay. So here say that now this one, right? I'm just like this. Now tell me what is the output anyhow. First, this is a syntactical error. This is going to be a syntactical error because so in between if and else statement you are not allowed to write anything. Okay, that is a syntax. Okay, now I am writing this. Okay, now observe the code. If else I have if I have two statements, else I have two more statements. Okay, Now I'm running this. Tell me the outputs clearly, guys, properly. So I'm entering on 11. What is the output? If I enter 11, what is the output, guys? So see the code and tell me what is the output here. Only it is going to print odd number. The number is odd number. What is the output? Yeah, odd number. That is fine. I want exact output. I want exact output. The number is odd number and yes. So here it comes to else block because my number is 11. Okay, it comes to else block and it will execute this line, also this line, because these two lines are maintained one tab space. This is what indentation we call. Okay, so this is a group. This is a body of else. Okay, this is what else body. It is going to execute both the statements. That's what you have to notice. Now, okay, now tell me what is the output. If I run this again, enter the number 11. What is the output now? The number is odd number. It will execute done this time because that is not belongs to else block, right? So still is it going to print? Yes. So output will be same, but you have to note that point here. Okay. I have to note this point here. This print statement is nowhere related to. It's nowhere related to either if statement or else statement. It's nowhere related to these conditions. Unconditionally, unconditionally, this line will execute always. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So it is going to execute always unconditionally. So it's nowhere related to either if block or it's nowhere related to else block. Unconditionally, this is going to execute always. See that now? Let me give even number here. Number is 10. Now see that given number done. I'm getting it or not? Soumya, please, can you please mute yourself? Okay, I have muted. Okay. So fine here. Hopefully you understand the point here. Now the same thing. Let me move it now. Okay. Okay. Now I'm giving the even number. Now what is the output? Now what is the output? In this case, what is the output? It is going to come into the if block, and it says that given number is even number and number is 10. Then is it going to print done in this case? Is it going to print done now? No, right? No, because this is now as part of else. This is as part of else. So this time it is not going to print. That is what the difference you have to understand. The statement is belongs to that or not. But if I move here, now this is not related to else. This is not related to else. So even this is not related to if also. So this executes always. For every execution, this will execute. The line will be executed. Whatever number you give, that will execute. Done will be executed. Again, run for even case, yes, that will execute. So always it will execute. So in Python, so the indentation matters. One tab space that tells that whether that belongs to this particular body or not. Understand, guys? So we'll see more and more interesting fun now. So far just we spend time about the basics actually, but the real fun starts from now, where actually we see a number of programs and we'll understand the concepts in detail, and we'll create more fun, more test cases, more what I'll say, It's a kind of experiments. Okay, more kind of R&D we do on each and everything. If else later, while loop, for loop, and combining all these together. So we do a number of things here, guys. So don't miss the sessions. Probably tomorrow and after tomorrow we will play more. Okay. Rajeshwari Naidu. So what you are trying to say? Please check your code. Are you? Is that line for me? Okay. I don't know. Okay. So any confusions, guys? Okay. So Kapil, the else. So you have to maintain that indentation. When you are writing else statement, right? You given some space. You should not give that. So indentation is very important. Indentation is very important. That is only the thing that controls the execution of the statements to be executed or not, depends on the condition. Okay, so ensure that that's very important. That's very important. Okay, so this is the body of that. This is the body of else. Maybe if you compare with the C language, maybe you might be having some curly braces like this. Maybe there you may not have to confuse actually, because everything will be like in this block. This is body of if statement, that is clear. But here in Python, so it is, as it is a scripting language, all the most of the scripting languages follow this. Okay, so tab space. Okay, tab space. Okay, guys, yeah, I'll wind up here for today. Just we understand the flow control. What is the flow control? And we just started with if statement, if and else. We just seen if and else. Tomorrow we'll see if else ladder. We'll see if else ladder. Then nesting of if else statements. Okay, keeping one if statement inside another if statements. Okay, else keeping if statement inside else statement, multiple if else statements, like we'll play around that tomorrow. Okay, so that's the plan for tomorrow, followed by I'll introduce iterative statements tomorrow. Maybe while loop I will introduce tomorrow. Okay, yeah, I'll assign. Now, yeah, you are good to practice now. So I'll post some assignments. Yep, I'll give you some assignments. Okay, because operators, data types, conversions, typecasting, variables. So now you are good to start with programming. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Any questions, guys? You are open up now, so you can ask your questions if you have any. Yeah, from today onwards, all the sessions will be like really interesting. We can have some fun. Okay. All right, guys. So if you don't have any questions, yeah, well, I'll wind up. Yeah, Kapil, in bitwise operators. What is the confusion, Kapil, in bitwise operators? Shift operators. Okay. Meaning that you wanted to apply on hexadecimal values or octal number or something like that. I don't think so, man. But yeah, you give it a try. Probably yes, but yeah, you can give it a try because we don't use them in general regular development. But still, if you want to give it a try, yeah, you can give it a try and let me know. Okay, if you while trying, like if you have any issues, let me know. Then we can discuss. Okay, so give it a try. Like you have to try with the base 2. Base 2 is what, like anyhow, that's a binary thing. So base 4, do we have that support base 4? No, right? So we have base 7, base 10, base 16, right? Base that's what octal format, hexadecimal format, right? Binary format, decimal format. These are the formats, right? If the format is allowed, then you can give it a try. Ahlad, why you are not getting? So did you talk to our team?